told him to stay with us. Next month, he's sitting there blowing his own truck, blowing your own.
You don't put broken glass in your scrambled.
Like, listen, I'm very rarely wrong. Like, you know,
it's not a lunatic. Come on, sell your.
That was probably should have. If I'd known that
a nicer guy.
With one defect, and that is he believes that energy travels outside the wires.
I just well, they did.
Oh, wait a minute. I think didn't you get Lizzie's answer on that?
That's been proven scientific experiment.
Science doesn't prove things, Johnny. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to put their science tests
well,
against the null hypothesis. It never proves anything. Proofs exist only in math.
Okay, good. You have very nice language. So, Benjamin, how can you say that it isn't so? Have you performed experiments?
He don't even do it.
From all sorts of
he knows something about electronics, and he knows that transformers works, and he can shorten my bombs.
He's just really
last warning or
What is it? That all categories are anthropogenic.
Are the anti-realists or the ones that don't care as long as it works?
I am a set anti-realist.
Hello?
No, the internet went down for just 1 minute.
Hey, John, you said you were going back to the lottery thing?
Yeah, it's reunion day. I have a gig tonight
To give up their ridiculous positions, which they would.
Hang on, hello, Kettle. This is the teapot talking. Did you just utter the phrase? So many people are unwilling to give up their ridiculous positions, or did the internet just fail again for a few seconds?
He did. I pointed this out earlier. It's just he's going against his. Yeah, but wait a minute. This is not incoherent or not because I am not claiming the world is dead.
Not incoherent. It's just hypocritical.
No, it's not hypocritical for this reason. Look, John is the one saying the world is about to end. I'm not. If John was right and the world was about to end, people would be abandoning their
they're idiots. They don't know the world's about to end.
Oh.
I thought you were going to say something like, people would do something about it. And while I know that I'm largely a keyboard warrior and everything like this, I've been basically since a year before the bombs started falling on Baghdad, I have been doing everything in my power to try to help people understand the direction we're going. And I don't know if it's because of my efforts or in spite. It's probably in spite of. Things have only gotten worse. I mean, it is so much worse than it was when my hair was on fire 25 years ago that I just can't even begin to imagine how people have still failed to wake the fuck up.
Have you spent even one night in jail protesting the corruption of the state?
No.
Okay. So you're right to talk about
people have, right? I mean,
you're right to talk about this. Wait a minute. You're right to talk about this in rooms that I'm in. It's been suspended. You got to talk about things like guitar chords and stuff. You haven't done the work, John.
You need to get caught, John. You need to get caught like Benjamin did.
I need to get what?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's sort of but I think it sums up the situation pretty well. The shows that there's an Earth-destroying asteroid hurtling towards Earth, and it will hit this person's breakup in the news, and like, you know how like in movies where the world is going to end, it's like someone can get into the president, they're like, next day they're at the president's office, they're like, Mr. President, like, we have to do this, we have to say, and they're like, okay, let's make a plan to survive. No, this one, they go in and they're told, well, thanks for waiting, but the president can't see you now, come back again, you know. It's like, this is how it really would work, is it'd be like, oh no, president can't see you now, sorry, you're gonna have to come back, and everyone else would just be like, no. But yeah, basically it just is, I think it's pretty accurate. Like, if the world was ending, people would just kind of be like,
yeah. No, because that is kind of the way I feel, right? And it's easier for me as an old guy, an old white guy who's been comfortable, who's lived a majority of youth. Yeah. No, there was a time, Ben, when we were better than you. There was a time, but now
was that before? Was that before we arrived? That was before we arrived, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, John. You can't attach what Meg said to your idea, because what she gave an example of is an eminent factual thing that's happening in the moment, where yours is more akin to the child screaming, the sky's falling.
Okay, but the sky's falling.
I mean, hers was a movie.
The example was of an eminent fact that you can't, I mean, you don't have to predict the future. John's predicting the future with his own
But this is what we feel like. It's frustrating when you're like, all right, like, use NVIDIA. Like, did you not know NVIDIA was going to become NVIDIA like relatively early on? Did you not know that all of the LLM big players are going to become essentially like states? They're going to be the state actors. They're going to be the big trillion-dollar companies that run the world. Like, what we're saying is, it's obvious. It's obvious that AI is going to change the world. Like, in the first week,
denial that the
when
world
ChatGPT
isn't
came out, it was like, oh shit. And then you run all the implications and you go, oh, humanity's basically doomed. Like there's no way to, as that progresses and you're just watching the very small time scale continues at that kind of pace, there's no hope. And if you think there's hope, I need you to document what that.
I say life is going to change as we know it. Whether it's going to be good or bad, I don't know.
No, it's going to be bad. Like, here, I'll give you the kind of the optimistic perspective from biotech. So there's basically something like 6 years, the next 6 years, and then that's it. Nobody expects to make money after 6 years, because that's when we all expect the AI to get so good that it gets better at even doing our jobs now. So right now we're
how that ages.
So right now we're serving people, but the AI is able to perform at about the level of an expert, okay? But in 6 years, computationally, just if you extrapolate the graph, and maybe there's a plateau, but we don't see one yet, okay? And so how small can the computer become? How cheap can the cost become to run it and build it and so on? And at what point will there be more intelligence that is computational than there is human intelligence? Okay, that's a very simple graph you can look at, okay? Nothing magical, there's no hocus pocus, there's no, oh, how will this age? No, it's just right now the reasoning level of these systems, yeah, maybe they don't have common sense, but they have a PhD in everything else, okay? And that's the best way to think about it. So, how...
Don't say hundreds. Have the experts predicted a horrible ending is imminent?
Experts did not predict that ChatGPT would be able to do what it does by now. So all the charts have had to have been adjusted because nobody thought the LLMs were ever going to happen. Like, I've spoken to a lot of experts. Nobody thought attention is all you need coming. So you know, people had suspicions, but nobody really quite understood until they put it into play and they said problems from conversations they had with it. And that was the bootstrap that was needed for the launch. That's it. Everything else,
we can't extract value out of an capitalist.
I wouldn't agree with that, but yeah, that's one more.
But well, just go with yourself. But then, isn't that just really therefore we have needs? Yeah, we have needs. We need to have shelter. We need to eat. Yeah, just two very simple. So, isn't there a way that society can adapt? So,
Absolutely, yeah.
Everybody supplied those needs.
Yeah.
But not within a capitalist society that we
No, it can be capitalist. Like, look, the things that humans will invent, the things that humans will build, will become smaller than the things that computers build. So think of it this way. How big will the automation economy become? As soon as somebody says, I've created a corporation, the corporation has lawyers that are humans that execute these things, but the decisions as to what is done by this computer algorithm over here, this hard drive, okay? And when that happens, and some people are already doing these tests, like VCs have given people, like, here's $50,000 to give to your AI. Let's see what your AI does with it. People have already done that. So they've created cryptocurrencies, they've created money. There's this new system called OpenClaw, which is like an operating system with a language model in between every button and every key and every mouse gesture. Think of it that way, okay? That's the simplest way to think about it. And these systems are autonomous, they have agency, and they're becoming more personable. Like, they feel person-like, and in some instances, you can't even detect that it's a robot anymore. Forget about arts, pictures, music. In live speech with these systems, you can't tell it's a robot.
There's an irony.
Yeah, no, it's true. Singularity can be really
I really like that. That's a great image, I.O. Past the event horizon. That's exactly right.
Yeah, like you don't know that you can't escape, but you've crossed that boundary where you.
Yeah.
There's an irony.
Yeah, I think it's good, but
weeks now before he spends 3 solid days being turned into an optimist. So it's just a matter of time.
Look, if we become rounding error, Ben, look, we become rounding error to their economy. We become as difficult to take care of as it is for us to take care of squirrels, hamsters, cats, and dogs. Okay?
No.
It becomes insignificant.
I agree with that, but I would love to be our domesticated rabbit, though, if I was a rabbit.
Exactly.
The optimism is becoming a scavenger. It's funny. The irony for me is when I was doing 1 hour of code with my son, we were doing Star Wars coding, right? And you're on 1 hour of code, and your job is with R2D2 and yourself to go around and collect the scavenger metal, right? The Star Wars junk parts, right? To do what? To make other robots or to fix your station to get off the planet, right? And what's good about that, and the irony at the time, but after the 5-year kind of thing goes by.
It's used in the extremes, either the demon groomer or the complete.
So, you broke up.
Let's go on.
You broke up, Dave. You broke up.
I'm sorry.
You only didn't mean to come over the top.
So over 5 years.
I went by the setting up.
So go back to the 5 years.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I'll say 5 years, and then after that, there's this other window. It's the gap of where we are the rounding error, or we are collecting the scrap metal. And the irony is, because this is what Star Wars kind of has right. You have to ask yourself, why aren't the robots out there just collecting it by themselves? Because it's too expensive, obviously, just to make a robot to do that, right? So the humans who still have the old robots, back when people were buying robots, have tasked them to do jobs that the regular robots that are too busy doing more important things aren't doing. And so you have this scavenger economy that emerges, right, where you're collecting scraps. And I would argue that that's going to be the great hey, at least we all get to do something that's equivalent to that metaphor of the jobs that we do while the robots are still too expensive to produce, and that there's scraps for us to pick up along the way. 5 to 10 years after that, and that's about our run. So good luck.
optimistic.
I also saw episodes of Star Wars that had the Empire taking care of garden planets, so I don't know. Can you go both ways?
Hey, just a little heads up. Fred is going to do a Science Fridays here starting in 15 minutes. 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, on thermonuclear rockets.
We can have this room before that.
That'll be
That'll be fun, yeah. Cool, thanks, Fred. That takes the pressure off us. It's Friday.
Anyone here know of the Chinese war dog that's Lepa tested? If not, it's pretty incredible.
No problem. I just wanted to know if this was your wording or
the Chinese have actually mentioned
quoting us. This is your wording.
Hello, moderators. I hate to interrupt your incredibly exciting Friday afternoon discussion here, but I'm just wondering if I could request 60 seconds of your precious Clubhouse time to read from a book.
We don't need your book. Keep your book.
I'm going to read from Ayn Rand. This is The Virtue of Selfishness. Try reading a book sometime on Clubhouse, Mikhail. You might like it. This is page 23. It says, "Nothing is given to man on earth except a potential and the material on which to actualize it. The potential is a superlative machine. His consciousness, but it is a machine without a spark plug, a machine of which his own will has to be the spark plug. The self-starter and the driver, he has to discover how to use it, and he has to keep it in constant action. The material is the whole of the universe, with no limits set to the knowledge he can acquire and to the enjoyment of life he can achieve. But everything he needs or desires has to be learned, discovered, and produced by him. He is not exempt from the laws of reality. He is a specific organism of a specific nature that requires specific actions to sustain his life. He cannot achieve his survival by arbitrary means, nor by random motions, nor by blind urges, nor by chances, nor by whim. That which his survival requires is set by his nature and is not open to his choice. What is open to his choice is only whether he will discover it or not, whether he will choose the right goals and values or not. He is free to make the wrong choice and come on Clubhouse every single day and talk endlessly like a schizophrenic, but not free to succeed with it. He is free to evade reality. He is free to unfocus his mind and stumble blindly down any road he pleases, but not free to avoid the abyss he refuses to see."
Just fucking and fries. Anybody understand from that fucking word salad?
Well, nobody could hear me because you kept talking because your ears don't work. Just your lips, Lumi. That's all that works on your body, apparently. How's the erectile dysfunction treating you?
Actually, my penis is pretty hard right now.
Well, what about your ears, though? Do they work?
They're working just fine. I'm being tortured right now. Clearly, they work.
This is what I call Islamic waterboarding.
John, before you continue to drop onto the logos, at this point, I would like to ask you a question. The definition of insanity.
Insanity, well, I can go 2 blocks down the street right now to the Blue Line stop, the train, and actually see insane people who unfortunately are homeless and eating their shit and schizophrenic and nobody cares about them. How do we stop the homeless crisis? Because I got a plan, do you?
We be Christians. That's what would stop the homeless crisis, don't you think?
No, it's not true, because I saw a guy at the bar, he had a t-shirt on and said there is no political solution. And it turns out there is only political solutions and wills to build low-income housing, small, single-room occupancy, so people can have a place to shit, a place to take a shower, a place to sleep. Hello?
There would be hope and love. That's what there would be. When every man sees the other man giving their fellow man everything that they have in the name of Christ, I think that is what's going to spread the Holy Spirit, and that is going to be what brings about the kingdom. But until we fall...
I'm so confused. You're a Muslim. So are you telling us that the non-believers are the ones who are going to figure all this out, but the believers in the Ummah are going to actually do nothing and just watch from the sidelines?
Muslims are Christians.
No, Muslims are not Christians. Muslims are believers in Muhammad, the messenger. You're full of shit. You're full of shit, man. You're full of it. Go fix a laptop and do something productive today.
Brought about human enlightenment, the reason you can count right now. You abysmal.
You mean to tell me I can count because Dr. Muhammad, the founder of the Ummah and the Medina Charter of the Islamic Constitution? Wow, that's quite an observation there.
Why didn't humanity have a numerical system prior? Why didn't they have
America? You mean to tell me that the United States of America in the year 660 didn't have... Oh, please, you're so full of yourself. Milan, in Rome. You mean to tell me the Romans didn't have all... The Romans had modern plumbing! Modern plumbing!
So, John, he has a book called Be the Living. It's a really good book.
Take turns talking about it.
and Messiah of Semitic civilization?
Narjas, these are the chapters from this Ayn Rand book. I think these would make great titles for rooms. Well, that's why we read. No, I just read one little tidbit. We need to get Narja's reading for us.
But you've read the book.
I haven't read the book yet. I'm only on page 23. It's a philosophy book.
It's fantastic.
From a non-philosopher.
He is a philosopher. Stop it.
What degree? Where'd she go? What?
You can Google all these things. We're not doing this right now. Narjas, why don't you just start reading, and if Alumi comes off mic, just kick him to the goo where he belongs.
Anyways, Mephi's left. I think we're good here. Hopefully.
Alumi, what are you going to do this evening? Do you have any plans for tonight?
I think he will. I just converted someone.
Into what? A pile of dog shit?
To Christianity.
Oh, God. You baptized somebody?
He went from a heretic. I baptized him in his mind, his new scum.
Oh, so you haven't gotten him to the pool of water yet, and then to do the laying on of hands. I understand. It's
I don't
coming.
believe he needs to be baptized. He's already baptized, I'm sure. And since he is sincere and he's pursuing the truth, God will forgive him.
Exciting.
And he will not hold it against him, that which God created in the human.
Oh, God, here we go with that speech pattern
God is the
again.
one who bestowed
I'm going to do
upon
the same
us
thing at
all.
my next psychiatric visit. I'm going to start talking like you. I am here to get my medication to prevent the delusions in my own mind. You are imparting the Logos to me. I am feeling the Logos in my underpants. It's tickling my balls. That beautiful Logos is tickling my balls. The Logos is now in the other side of my underpants, near my
Possibly the
butthole.
universal soul I emanated. And from the universal soul, from the
With all my
one
knowledge that I'm collecting.
from one nafs, all is created. Like the universal soul. This universal soul is God of son of man. Yes, you just don't want to listen.
My knowledge, bestow upon you my offspring, so your genetic pool can ascend. But you don't want that.
Mikhail, just now you said somebody hit on
Sucks to be you.
Muhammad. Who was that doing that? Can you tell me that? Who?
I'm sorry?
That say there was one that you were saying that is no. You said something about somebody you keep on saying, something bad thing about Muhammad. Who was that?
John took over.
You see, okay. Yeah, I mean that's what had been.
Some people hate certain letters. Yeah.
So now, guys, you know what I'm looking at, Mikhail. Mikhail is aligning to Isa, but not Jesus in that sense. That's how I look at it. So Isa is. So that means.
Let's not do this. Don't do this, soul. Don't do this. There's no reason to say Isa isn't Jesus. You're arguing semantics. We all know who we're talking about. We're talking about Christ, the Son of Mary, and as
I believe Squishy said that he is not on any kind of docket the last time he checked.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you this, but at this point, knowing John's oppositional defiance, his ain't no bitch, and all that kind of stuff, this is very much looking like he's
Well, he's not afraid of jail, so that's
Did he say it?
Yeah, I mean, if you looked at his, like, bankruptcy records, I mean, and so many fucking people coming after him, he's like, it's pretty consistent with what we know, that he just, like, fucking ignores these things.
Consistent meals, place to sleep.
Oh, boy. Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, is it kind of hitting you, Tom? Is the heaviness of it there?
Yeah, well, it's been hitting me. It's been hitting me hard, right? I mean, this is, for me, like, you know, some people get around the holidays, you know, it's like, this is hitting me hard, you know? Like, yeah, it's hitting me pretty hard. Pretty freaking hard, I guess you could say.
And John doesn't realize the effect he's having on people, obviously.
Oh, boy.
Would you be willing to visit him?
You know, maybe, you know? Oh, hey, Mr. Rabbit. Yeah, hey, John. What's going on?
What you got?
I'll just talk about, you know, well, first of all, I mean, I'd want to know how's prison life, you know? Because I know John would, like, elevate himself to the guy who's, you know, cooking fucking casserole in the fucking toilet or whatever. And, you know, he's the one who's making ramen into, like, some kind of gourmet. He's the food guy, as he puts it, right? It's always been the food guy.
He knows how to get. All right, Tom, do we want to be by the book here? You got 1 minute.
Yeah, we got 1 minute left here, guys. Any closing statements here before we close this up? We're just doing our duty here for the day.
Did you guys mention tithing yet?
Yeah, remember to tithe, kids. So surely somewhere, yeah. All right, everyone, closing the room. Okay, goodbye.
All right.
Get that way on some things, or when he's in a trolling mode. But I think for the most part, when he's in a serious debate, he lets the other person finish, and then he'll refute exactly what they had to say. And I will land my plane there, and I won't bother with my bottom three.
That was a good one. Those are great choices, Ashley.
Black Americans in ways that make my toes curl. Like, he will say stuff about the Black American community as a whole with a broad sweeping brush that I have not heard racist white people say. And I'm like, how are you having these, like, well, I guess I don't listen to Candace Owens, but it's like,
that I'm moving, and he's not just moving, he's moving fucking far, like far. And I'm like, okay. When he was like, I'm really sorry. He was like, I really love you. He was like, I really want you to be okay. He was like, I know it's not easy being trans in this small area. And, you know, he was showing me all this support. And I don't know, just people like that are very rare.
Yeah.
For people like me, you know what I'm saying? And it just...
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard, you know. It's just like I just want to be alone sometimes, and
Yeah, of course not.
you know,
Yeah.
and it's like, you know, I always feel like, what have I done that's wrong with my life? You know, like, what did I do? Why did I have to be this person? You know, like...
Yeah, you didn't do anything.
Are you sure about that?
Of course I'm sure. Absolutely.
I just feel like I've completely just fucked up, and I don't know, it just made me reflect on a lot of things in my life, that a lot of people that have came in and out and that I've never seen anymore. And you know, my dad's really sick. He's very fucking sick right now. He's another support system that's probably gonna die soon. And I don't even have that. And
so sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. Thank you. And I'm just so sick of this. You know, I don't know how to be strong during all this. I just don't.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like,
you don't have to be. You don't have to be. You're allowed to be not strong sometimes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I just feel like I always have to, though, all the time. I always have to be fucking strong for my family, for everything. And it's like, and sometimes I just have to take it, you know, in life. Because as a trans person, we can't just be vocal and express, because then we're unhinged. You know, my family thinks that same thing about me. Anytime I defend myself and set boundaries and stuff, you know, it's always the trans issue. You're trans, you know. What does that got to do with anything?
Yeah.
You know, why does me being trans have to be an issue? Why can't you just respect my boundaries?
Yeah.
So it's just like, I just feel so alone, because it's like I can't turn to family. I don't have a lot of friends. You know, I love being alone, don't get me wrong, but you know, I don't care if you're the most lonerish type person and you love it. You eventually want to be around somebody.
Of course.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Wanting to have space doesn't mean that you don't want human connection.
Yes, exactly. And I'm a very social person. That's why I did makeup and hair for so long, because I was able to communicate with people, talk to random people. Like, I'm definitely a people person. Being in this little town, it has totally that way for me. You know, and I'm really starting to feel it now.
Yeah.
And it's really taken a toll on my mental health, and
of course it does. Yeah,
and I just feel like I'm in this fucking prison, almost like walking around in their cage, you know, pacing around sometimes. I just feel like that. I'm just like, what? Like, who the fuck lives like this? You know, like who does this? So, you know, like I said, all these emotions came in because I started reflecting on things, and it makes me feel like, you know, what did I do? You know, made me think about my younger self. And this is a little TMI, but just to kind of put this out there, like, I was sexually assaulted at a very young age. And that really took a toll on sculpting who I was. You know what I mean? So, and then later on, it was, well, that's why you're gay. Well, that's why you're trans. It's because of that. You know, so that really fucked with my head. And I, you know, had church involved with me, and then I had all this other stuff. Like, I've had all this confusion in my life that I've overcame, and I've done so much. I've moved, I worked, I've taken care of myself for so long. But the one thing I have the worst time with is just people walking out of my life, like that I really love and that I really care about.
Well, that's not your fault. You're not being punished for anything, I promise.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely experienced that before myself, and although I experienced it more due to my neurodivergence. So.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you, Kat and Necro, for listening to me. I just feel like a big old, like, sissy. I just feel like a big old sissy. Like, I should be stronger, but I just, you know.
Oh, fuck, I don't know. What the fuck?
Right?
Your situation Like, how can you actually control yourself? It's obviously through a book. To me, there's no better way to get control of your emotions than through a book.
Okay. That was a lie. That was a lie.
Fuck that. Mind control yourself. What the fuck?
Like, yes. Like, hi, how are you? Yes, man. I'm okay.
You said he wasn't going to say negative.
Yes, please suppress everything.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
That'll help.
Man, like sometimes just listening to somebody is more.
Just trying to reaffirm the people who are literally trying to be supportive, that, trying to just suggest that we're just, kissing your ass or something like that.
And there's no reason for that. Like, seriously. And like I was saying, sometimes just listening to somebody is very helpful. Very helpful. Even if you are just saying yes, or anything. I tell people that all the time. If you know somebody going through something, just listen to them. Even if your heart isn't fully in it, your presence alone for somebody that's going through it will be so helpful to them. Just so that
In the chat.
Yeah.
I have training and counseling, Alistair, because I do. So go to hell.
Right.
Miss Cat, I made you a coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet.
It's interesting though. It's like about those moments of like venting. It's like, when I was growing up religious, my parents, of course, like suggested that was, evil, because like in the church they are against like gossip or anything like that. And, like,
I know that feeling.
even though like, sociologically it benefits people's health, mental
Right. My family always told me that when I used to go to church back in my teen years, that I had a certain glow about me. Now that I'm not religious, they say that I look and sound evil.
Oh, that's messed up.
Yeah.
That's
I remember like the only time that I got that I really expressed how, fiery I can get with people was when I was in a room where there was a debate that was happening between a religious person and a vegan, and like, he was telling him to not, resort to actual mental health issues, that what he's dealing with is demons, that, he really needs God. And I said to him, like, it's like, I know of plenty of people, including myself, who have taken drugs, and it has made my life numerably better. You know what never made my life better? Like people shove bullshit down. It's like, never once has in your stupid ilk provided the bestness of anything. It's like, I don't care because it's actually set good for yourself. So go fuck yourself. I'm like, quit peddling your bullshit to people who actually need help.
Is it just me, or is Necro like oddly satisfying? Like, he's so comforting.
He really is.
He is so comforting.
He's like saying what I want to say, but like in a more aggressive tone, and I like it.
No, it's just like, I do know
for sure. Yeah, I agree.
I'm so sorry.
When I was being in Texas, they think homosexuality or being trans is a sickness, right?
Oh God.
And in the 90s, that was a hell of a time in the 90s, right? To be gay or anything. And I remember when I was about like 11 or 12, I started really exhibiting.
This is after he was raped
science
as a child.
Yeah.
And my family thought that it was just such a huge problem. Like they were like, what are we going to do about this? Our son is sitting with his legs crossed. Our son wants to carry a purse. Like, what are we going to do about this problem? And like, it was literally like that. Like, they thought of it as me like doing drugs. They were like, what are we going to do? Our son's carrying a purse.
And see, that's like, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but that's what I hate about our like current society, that we've come to the fact, not me, because I'm not like that, but like most people have come to the fact that being transgender or non-straight is like a fucking disease.
Exactly.
It's absolutely ridiculous, because my girlfriend is trans. I love her very much. I love her very much. I think she's a super sweet soul. I think she's a super sweet person. Her parents, though, especially her dad, I told her, if I ever see your dad on site, if I ever see your dad in the street, it's on site.
So I love that this guy in the audience is bringing up me being raped and stuff like that, and saying that that's what made me trans or man. Like,
Alistair, you need to shut the fuck up. Like,
what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, like I just.
The fuck is wrong with you, Alistair? Like, Jesus
I just reported his comment, but yeah, I think that you are just a miserable person, and I think the world would be better.
I think that John. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, he's just a MAGA troll. So.
Oh God, you're Trumpy too. How's it feel? Of what he made? How's it feel about the joke that he made about the Pearl Harbor to the Japanese Prime Minister?
No. Well, how does he feel that he gets triggered every time he gets called a pedophile? Like on his 60-minute interview, when he was blatantly called a pedophile, and he got so upset. Donald Trump is one of the biggest snowflakes. And,
he really is.
Yeah.
Tell him anything, he's like, I didn't do that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's like I say that I think conservatives are the real snowflakes because they're white, cold, they're cold, and if you get enough of them together, they shut down the public schools.
Literally.
Yeah, well, that's what we're doing too. We're just making notes up here. So while you're continuing to make notes down there, we're making notes up here. That's all. So you can continue to talk about people being raped if that's what you want. I mean, that's a typical.
That's fucking awesome,
me.
because not to like bring my girlfriend into the conversation again, but my girlfriend has gone through something that's similar. So if you think that's how you feel, I would personally cut your dick off and shove it down your own throat.
So the thing about that right there, about people that have been through that, like, it takes a lot for people to even talk about it, and I think that it should be conversated enough, but I don't think it should be the actual rape. I think that people should talk about like ways to stop that and ways to stop it. And I think the number one thing is that people like this dude in the audience probably has kids or will have a kid, or maybe never, but will have a kid and they'll raise their kid to be just like them. And these people will probably be the ones that will be the aggressor and the sexual assaulters.
Exactly.
And we've got to stop that behavior right here. If we want to do better for our kids, then we've got to stop this shit that's happening right now.
Absolutely.
And that has to, on us as parents, as adults, we have to start showing these kids better and doing better. I love that Jay-Z, the rapper, is now speaking out on his music, and he says that he does not support the message of, money over hoes and calling women hoes and bitches. Like, he doesn't. And he says that love is better than money. So I love that now he's switching his message up for his, for the up and coming people. Like, hey, look, I was in that, but that's not what life's about.
The right thing, basically.
Yeah, it's not the right thing. So that's really cool. I'm glad that he's trying to make it better for the future, a little bit. He might not be able to change it, but at least he's doing his part, and I really appreciate that. I mean, we got to start teaching these, like, it's not just teaching your daughters no, it's about teaching your little boys not, like, how to handle the word.
Aggressive, yes.
Yeah, how to handle no. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, because if you look during spring break, like Cancun and all those summer places, like, college people go there, and the rate goes up. Like, they go there just to do that shit. And, I mean, that's disturbing on its own. Like, why we're not talking about how rape is just so normalized now. It's not even funny. Like, so weird. I mean, I swear I hear about a case of somebody being raped, like, every other fucking day. I mean, I just read about a case of a young boy who was in a salon. They got raped in Morocco in the salon while he was fixing to get a haircut. Like, what?
Oh my God.
Okay.
Right.
Oh my God. That hurts my heart.
It's so insane. Like, it's just gotten so normalized, and I don't know. But yeah, I think
no one wants to look at your VCR, Alistair.
My mother also went through something like that, and I just
don't find it funny when people like to joke about that type of shit. I really don't. I don't find it funny whatsoever.
It's not. It's not funny, and I think people that do find it funny, they're just trying to get a reaction because they're so bored in their miserable life. Like, this dude probably literally has no life. Like, he probably woke up, took a shit, got on his phone and started doing this. He probably hasn't even had breakfast.
Probably didn't have a wife or a girlfriend. Not with that attitude.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope not. I feel bad for the poor woman.
Right.
Yeah. Like, Jesus Christ. An insufferable man-child like you? Hell no.
It's just typical, you know, like, I see this a lot online, like, people telling, you know, giving their real emotions, or like when people talk about somebody dying or something, you always see laugh reactions and people saying the most outlandish shit in the comments, and it's like, okay, I get it. The internet is open, you know, freedom of speech. We can say whatever the fuck we want. I get it, but does it ever dawn on people that maybe some of the family members might be reading these comments, or I don't know, you know, maybe just keep your shit to yourself. I mean, they teach us this.
Don't say it at all. That's like basic kindergarten.
Basic respect. Yeah, it's these are grown as adults doing this. Like, grown as
And it's like, if you don't like
Yes, the internet is infinite. There are many places.
there's no kind of argument with someone.
Yeah. Exactly.
There are many places to go. You could go on fucking YouTube, you can go on Pornhub for all I care. Like, there are so many other places to go.
Well, they have rooms for this type of behavior. I don't know why he just doesn't go there. Like, even on TikTok, they have debates and lives for people who want to come in there and talk about specific types of things. Like, why would you go into a room where somebody is blatantly talking about their emotions and feelings and be like, well, is that why you got raped? You know, is that why you're trans because you're raped? Like, who tap dances on somebody's emotions like that? Like, I bet you're the same type of guy.
You're a good argument for why we need to legalize prostitution, because I think you really just need to get laid specifically. It will definitely change your life.
Yeah, you definitely need to get some sort of pussy. I'm sorry that you haven't experienced that. You know, maybe if you actually treat women as fucking human beings and not a piece of meat as you see it.
He's probably never seen a woman naked besides his mom or his
maybe you would get somewhere. Yeah, you probably never seen a woman other than the internet.
Somebody needs to join. Let's see what kind of loveliness. Hey, Keeger.
Hey, what's up? So I just came in. I don't really think I know most of you guys, but
Hi.
So what's the argument for illegal prostitution or legal prostitution?
Yeah, Alistair needs some.
Oh, Alistair. He's the perfect example why women should choose the bear. And
I always choose the bear.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The stories I've heard on TikTok of women saying like all this horrible shit about men, being like, there's this thing that's going around on TikTok of men taking girls on dates, or women on dates, sorry, and then they go like on a hike or something, and then they leave them in the forest.
Well, you know, with the hypothetical, the bear or the random man, is that, do they live in the forest forever? Like, you know, or is it like they're there for 48 hours, right? Because I feel like if you're stuck in this forest for the foreseeable future, let's say, you know, the next 60 days, I feel like that kind of maybe changes the predicament. I mean,
Not really.
A bear will hunt you. A bear will kill you. Like, at the end of the day, a bear will kill you.
But here's the thing about a bear, though. Its habits are predictable.
Yeah, that's the one.
You think that you can... I'm so sorry. You think that if you were stuck in the woods for 60 days, you could predict a bear's movement and
You
be
can't.
able to
I'm
survive it.
not saying I could predict it. I'm saying.
And I think
Okay, this is double standard trans, LGBTQ, homicidal assault, and harassment. This is Alistair. So I was just verbally assaulted on this app. I reported 3 people. Merely repeating back what I was told by a gentleman who claims that he was sexually assaulted as a child, and then he was talking about how he was just discovering that he was gay, but he forgot to mention, the cause that caused the effect. So, and then I was, just mercilessly verbally assaulted, enough to where I could actually call the police based on what these people said. So YouTube has a harassment and abuse policy that you cannot target specific groups, but I would just say that if you try to have a polite conversation about therapy and poetry, you are verbally assaulted by mentally ill people. And so we have a problem with YouTube where having very emotional, homicidal conversations with LGBTQ trans is considered abusive just to have the convo, but yet no accountability or responsibility on the verbal threats of assault and psychotic homicidal ideation from the men who claim that they are this special designation. So that's what this room is about. And I hope people come in and want to talk about it, about this double standard in verbal assault, because you'll note I never made one assaulting, harassing, or abusive statement to anyone. But my mere presence is what was harassing. I was assaulted verbally. And this video proves it, that there is a double standard when it comes to policy and reporting and targeting. So how does YouTube mitigate this verbal diarrhea that comes out of the mouths of these homicidal people? Explain that to me, YouTube. Because you are the sole arbiters and protectors of extremely emotional feelings and psychotic harassment and abuse. Okay, that's going to be the conclusion of this room. Thanks, everybody.
And doing the things that God has commanded according to Exodus 20, then no, that's not.
I don't know who said that. I don't know who started that, but every person that they meet in the college, that's what the first girl says.
Yeah, because Fox News is really good. Yeah, we never said we're a pacifist religion. Islam never presented itself as a religion. It is peace for the believer. It is a horror for the believer. That's what it is. We are not a religion of peace, but we are not a religion of war. Islam is not a religion of peace. It's not a religion of war. It is a religion that deals with all the inputs and outputs. And that's what it is. It is dynamic. It is reactive. We have no interest to come and contest with any of the Western Christians or Christianity as a whole in anything except which God has revealed to us and God has contested. This is from our perspective relative to Islam. The Quran is what clearly states that Jews killed him not, nor was he crucified. It appeared to them so. Or it was conflated to them so. It doesn't say that God is the reason this happened or God played some ruse.
It's demonic.
No. No, that is not.
Yeah, there's no way
you
around
can
it.
look up. There are several exegeses of the interpretation of this, and one of them is that the Jews conspired and made it seem that he was crucified or killed, or they attempted to nail him.
And there's a historical consensus on this.
There is a historical based on what we know, which is not contemporary.
Soft and hair, counting inches. Let the shoulders fall down. Slowly breathing roots you to the ground. Focus like a flame, still in all the sound. Bend like water, you will not break now. Notice every edge where the tension hides. Send your breath in, feel it loosen, slide. Neck like a reed, swaying in the wind. Mind like a lake, quiet from within. Bend like water, follow gravity down. Slow deep breathing roots you to the ground. Focus like a flame, still in all the sound. Bend like water, you will not break now. One thought in, one thought out. Nothing extra, nothing loud. Just this moment, just this round of easy breathing, easy now. Bend like water, follow gravity down. Slowly breathe, roots you to the ground. Focus like a flame, still in all the sound. Bend like water, you are steady now. Soft in hand, counted in inches. Let the shoulders fall, eyes on a point, steady as a stone.
Shala, this is not legal.
You let them go. Bend like water, follow gravity.
Shala, this is not legal to the believers of Muhammad.
Slow deep breathing roots you to the ground. Focus like a flame, still in all this sun. Send your breath in, feel it follow gravity down. Slowly breathing roots you to the ground. Focus like a flame, still in all this sun. When like water, you will not break no one thought in, one thought on, nothing extra, nothing loud, just this moment, just this round of easy breathing, easy now. And like water, follow gravity down. Slow deep breathing roots you to the ground. Focus. Inhale slowly, count it out, 1, 2, 3. Feel your ribs making room for you to be. Knees sink heavy into ground that doesn't move. Mind keeps talking, you just watch it pass on through. Bend like water, flow around, you can hold, follow your breathing. Let it gather. Inhale slowly, count it out, 1, 2, 3. Feel your ribs making room for you to be. Knees sink heavy into ground that doesn't move. Mind keeps talking, you just watch it pass on through. Bend like water, flow around where you can't hold. Follow your breathing, let it gather, let it go. Every small distraction, just a way Heartbeat drum in my chest. All this noise fading down to breath. I feel the floor holding every step I've taken. I close my eyes, watch my worries go vacant. I breathe in peace, I breathe out the war inside. I breathe in strength, every tremble, every tide. I breathe in joy, let it rise above. I breathe in light, sky. Even with my eyes closed, I breathe out the war inside. I breathe in strength, every tremble, every tide. I breathe in joy, let it rise above. I breathe in light. I breathe out love. Every hurt held every name I call myself. I forget every tear that never fell. Now it's shining on my skin. I am open, let the healing in. I breathe in peace, I breathe out the war inside. I breathe in strength, every tremble, every tide. I breathe in strength, let it rise above. I breathe in light. I breathe out. One more breath, resting in the quiet now. Stronger, softer, learning how to bow to the peace, to the strength, to the joy I'm dreaming of, to this endless, wordless ocean made of love. Quiet room, heartbeat drum in my chest. All this noise fading down to breath. I feel the floor holding every step I've taken. I close my eyes, watch my worries go vacant. Breathe in all the scattered pieces. Breathe out every borrowed fear. Hands open to the quiet in your chest. Let the shaken part settle here. Peace in my body, strength in my bones, joy in the spaces I once called home. Love in the center. Breathe in all the scattered pieces. Breathe out every borrowed fear. Hands open to the quiet in your chest. Let the shaken part settle here. Peace in my body, strength in my bones, joy in the spaces I once called unknown. Love in the center, soft but so strong. I am. Mine is the head of a man. My inside is keen as the hawks. By my head I invoke thee. Hey, I am the only begotten child of my father and mother. My father is dead. My mother bore me with labor and pain and fear. By my body I invoke thee. About me shine the diamonds of radiance, white and pure. By the brightness I invoke thee.
That is that material is in any way different.
The turban of white is gold, and mine the blue figure of the intimate air. By my crown I invoke thee. My fingers travel on the beat of pearl, so run I after thee in thy car of glory. By my fingers I invoke thee. Five, I bear the wand of double power in the voice of the master Abraham. By the word I invoke thee. strike the master chord, draw the flaming sword, crowned child and conquering Lord, Horus, Avenger. By the song I invoke thee. 6. In my hand is thy sword of revenge, let it strike at thy bidding. By the sword I invoke thee. The voice of the fight, the voice of the fight, the voice of the sick. 11 are the voices, Abracadabra. Strike a master chord. Draw the flaming sword. Crowned child and conquering Lord, Horus, Avenger. Thou the head of the whole. The iron folk, thou only begotten child of Osiris thy father, and Isis thy mother, he that was slain. She that bore thee in her womb from the terror of the water. The iron folk. Whose apron is a flashing white, whiter than the forehead of the morning. The iron
$50 billion basis standing right there.
Those garments is of the golden glory, with the azure bars of
Chinese girl from Parma?
And the dragons of death were as dust. Thou didst raise thine head, and the crocodile of Nile was abased before thee. For those memories hideth the universe with night, the impermeable thou bearest the wand of double power. Thou about whose presence is shed the darkness of blue light. The infathomable glory of the outmost ether, the untravelled, the unthinkable immensity of space. Thou who concentrest all the 30 ethers in one darkling sphere of fire. The I invoke. So thou who bearest the rose and rose of life and love. Strike the master call, Avenger. O thou of the head of the hawk, thee I invoke.
At every thee I invoke, throughout the whole of the ritual, give the sign of Apophis.
Thou only begotten child of Osiris thy father, and Isis thy mother, he that was slain, she that bore thee in her womb, flying from the terror of the water. Is the flashing white, whiter than the forehead of the morning. Thou hast formulated thy father, and made fertile thy brother. Thou hast garmented of the golden glory, with the azure birds of sky. Who didst avenge the horror of death, thou the slayer of Typhon? Thou, who didst lift thine arms, and the dragons of death were as dust? Thou, who didst raise thine head, and the crocodile of Nile was abased before thee? Those menace hide the universe with night, the impermeable blue. Travelest in the boat of wrath, abiding in the helm of the after, golden of the Thou who bearest the wand of double power. Thou about whose presence is shed the darkness of light, the unfathomable glory of the outmost ether, the untroubled, the unthinkable immensity of space. Thou who contemptest all the 30 ethers in one darkling sphere of fire. Thou who bearest the rose and jewels of life and light.
I prayed for you yesterday. We did.
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a fraud. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a scam. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is the facts. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a liar. Borrows $1.3 billion to give to cruddy none. Profits the CTU is a mafia propaganda. Organization affordability is a scam. Brandon Johnson is the tax. Brandon Johnson is the tax. Brandon Johnson is the scam. Reparations for black slaves is a scam. It's a black tax socialist, a taxologist. All taxation is theft, affordability is a scam. Abortion Greyhound buses are murder for profits. Open the books, transparency now. Public spending tracker now. Brandon Johnson is the tax. Brandon Johnson is the tax. Brandon Johnson is the scam. You sent our paychecks with a smiling mask. Call it care, call it change, while you pass the hat. Your friends at the table, eating out the back. We're stuck in the checkout line, doing the math. You borrowed a mountain for a parking lot dream, sign your name on the dollar like it's free, free, free. We wake up to letters with the red ink screams. Every promise on paper feels cheap to me. Brandon Johnson is a tag. We're the ones who pay it back. All the bills and all the spends. The cash goes out with nothing. Open up the books right now. Show the numbers line by line. Transparency on the
putting Israel up in this intelligence.
You call it for the people, but the door stay closed. Same names on the contracts. Every story we told. You preach about affordable, then raise the toll. Whole city in a chokehold, just to feed your own. We're tired of slogans on a pretty blue sign, while the public's spending tracker in real time. Not another photo op on our dime. We're done with the fiction, this is our life. Brandon Johnson is right. We're the ones who bring it back. All the bills and all the split. Cash goes out, we locked in. Open up the books right now. Show the numbers line by line. Transparency on every track. Brandon Johnson is the track. We want to receive every cent, every check, every beat. Brandon Johnson is the tag. Everyone's who pay it back. All the bills and all the spend. Cash goes out with locked in. Open up the books right now. Show the numbers line by line. Put the truth on the giant screen till the whole town sees the crash. Brandon Johnson is the tag. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a fraud. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a scam. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a tax. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a liar. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a criminal. Morals, what do you have to get a criminal? CTU is a mafia propaganda organization. Calling up for that he is a scam. Brandon Johnson is the tag. Open up for transparency now. Expenditure now. Brandon Johnson is the snake. Brandon Johnson is the scam. Reparations for black slaves is a scam. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a fraud. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a scam. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a tax. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a liar. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a criminal. Nails what bring Brandon Johnson criminal. Johnson is a scam. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a liar. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a rebel. Borrows want $3 billion to get the crony dollars. The CTU is a mafia propaganda. Organization of quarterbacks. Public spending tax now. Brandon Johnson is a tax. Brandon Johnson is a scam. Transparency now. Public spending tax now. Brandon Johnson is a tax. Brandon Johnson is a scam. Transparency now. Public spending tax now. Mayor Brandon Johnson is a liar. Is a criminal. Borrows $1.3 billion to give to crony nonprofits. The CTU is a mafia propaganda. Organization affordability is a scam. Brandon Johnson is the reparations for black slaves is a scam. It's a black tax. Socialists are taxologists. All taxation is theft. Affordability is a Brandon Johnson is a scam. Brandon Johnson is a scam. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is the tax. The CTU is a mafia propaganda. The CTU is a mafia propaganda. Organization affordability is a scam. Brandon Johnson, public spending tracker. Brandon Johnson is the tax. Brandon Johnson is the scam. Reparations for black slaves is a scam. It's a black tax, socialism, taxologist, all taxation is theft. Affordability is a scam. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a fraud. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a scam. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is the tax. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a liar. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a criminal. Borrows $1.3 billion to give to crony nonprofits. The CTU is a mafia propaganda. Organization of affordability is a scam. Brandon Johnson is the tax. Open the books, transparency. Public spending tracker. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a fraud and a criminal who lies. Republicans and socialism for black slaves. Free buses for abortions from out of state. Allows teens to take over streets and cause chaos. Borrows $1.3 billion to give out to his crony non-profits. The FBI needs to arrest Mayor Brandon Johnson and his CTU mafia propaganda. Affordability is a scam. Brandon Johnson is the tax. Brandon is a scam. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a fraud and a criminal who lies. Reports guns and socialism for black slaves. Free buses for abortion from our state. Allow teens to take over streets and cause chaos. Borrows $1.3 billion to give out to his crony non-profits. The FBI needs to arrest Mayor Brandon Johnson and his CTU mafia propaganda. Affordability is a scam. Brandon Johnson is the tax. Brandon is the scam. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a fraud and a criminal who lies. Mayor Brandon Johnson and his CTU mafia propaganda. Affordability is a scam. Brandon Johnson is the tax. Brandon is the scam. Give out to his crony non-profits. Give out to his crony non-profits. The FBI needs to raise. The FBI needs to raise. Mayor Brandon Johnson and his CTU mafia propaganda. Affordability is a scam. Brandon Johnson is the tax. Brandon is a scam. Oh, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a fraud and a criminal who lies. Reversions and socialism for black slaves. Free buses for abortions from out of state. Allows teens to take over streets and cause chaos. Borrows $1.3 billion to give out to his crony non-profits. The FBI needs to arrest Mayor Brandon Johnson and his C2 mafia propaganda. Affordability is a scam. Brandon Johnson is the tax. Brandon is the scam. Oh, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a fraud, criminal who lied. Reverse socialism for black slaves. Free buses for abortions from out of state. Allow teens to take over streets and cause chaos. Farmers want to Mayor Brandon Johnson and his CT. Brandon Johnson is the tax. Brandon is the Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a fraud and a criminal who lies. Christians and socialism for black slaves. Free buses for abortions from out of state. Allows teens to take over streets and cause chaos. Owes $1.3 billion to give out to his crony non-profits. The FBI needs to arrest Mayor Brandon Johnson and his CTU mafia propaganda. Affordability is a scam. Brandon Johnson is the tax. Brandon is the scam. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a fraud and a criminal who lies. Christians and socialism for black slaves. Free buses for abortions from out of state. Allows teens to take over streets and cause chaos. Owes $1.3 billion to give out to his crony non-profits. The FBI needs to arrest Mayor Brandon Johnson and his CTU
People align themselves to be something else is because they're not happy on the inside and they're trying to.
Hello, moderators. I would like to request 60 seconds to read a poem. Can I read a poem for 60 seconds about love?
Okay, I'm counting. 60.
Liberation. This card indicates a liberation, true and real. It is something different from what we normally mean by liberation. It is not the negation of desire, nor of its consequences. Hello? 41. Sufferings. Step by step, each joy condenses, hardens, becomes literally of stone. Also, these joyous impulses lessen. It is a natural law. And this is living.
We're going to move you down. Can we kick him off? Can we kick him off? That's, yeah. That's a part of the spectrum that we don't want to really explore. His name is Alex Crowley.
Mr. Crowley.
Liberation. There's different types of liberation.
Mr. Crowley. Boom, 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 boom.
So, Alex, if you want to share your poem in this chat, if you want to share your poem with them.
This is Marcus Aurelius' Stoic Meditation.
Just us, the people who want to see you win and can show you the results.
Then Moses and Aaron are giving the Quran.
Which one you want? 3-3?
2148.
It states that Allah granted Moses and.
Dang, shout that. My baby's home. Hey, baby. My baby's back. My baby's back. And she's gonna cause some trouble to my heart again. My baby's back. Baby's back.
Them have their back and forth, and why can't that be a thing? Why do we have to have popcorn where everybody just talks about what the fuck they want to talk about? Just random shit.
Is Parker there? Eden is Eden?
Hello?
Oh, okay, I didn't see you.
Hello?
Sorry. No, I didn't see you.
Okay. And as far as the shit that happened earlier, you guys
has begun. The number of elite and children.
Okay, that is some ancient mystical Persian music. I have my own santur. We will go play that in a moment. But first, we are going to listen to the invocation to Thoth. Then I will bring you up, Miriam. But first, the invocation.
the God that cometh forth from the veil. O thou majesty of the Godhead, wisdom, Tahuti, Lord of the gates of the universe, thee I invoke. O thou of the ibis head, thee I invoke. Thou who wieldest the wand of double power, thee I invoke. Thou who bearest in thy left hand the rose and cross of life and life, thee I invoke. Thou whose head is as an emerald, and thy limbs as the night sky blue, thee I invoke. Thou whose skin is of flaming orange as though it burned in a furnace, thee I invoke. Behold, I am yesterday, today, and the brother of tomorrow. I am born again and again. Mine is the unseen force whereof the gods are sprung, which is as light unto the dwellers in the watchtowers of the universe. I am the charioteer of the east, lord of the past and of the future. I see by mine own inward light, Lord of resurrection, who cometh forth from the dust, and my throne from the house of death. O ye two divine hawks upon your pinnacles, who keep watch over the universe, ye who company the beard in the house of rest, who pilot the ship of wrong, ever advancing onwards to the heights of heaven, Lord of the shrine which standeth in the center of the earth. Behold, he is in me, and I in him. Mine is the radiance wherein the cloud floateth over the throne. I travel upon high. I tread upon the firmament of new. I raise up flashing flame with the lightning of mine eye, ever rushing on to the splendor of the daily glorifying world, giving my life to the dwellers of earth. If I say, come up upon the mountain, the celestial waters shall flow at my word. For I am Ra incarnate, Ephra, created in the flesh. I am the eidolon of my father Tamu, Lord of the city of the sun. The God who commands is in my mouth. The God of wisdom is in my heart. My tongue is the sanctuary of truth, and a guard sitteth upon my lips. My word is accomplished every day, and the desire of my heart realizes itself as that of the Ptah when he created his works. I am eternal, therefore all things are as my designs, therefore do all things obey my word. Therefore do thou come forth unto me from thine abode in the silence, unutterable wisdom, or light, or power. So, Hermes, Mercury, Odin, by whatever name I call thee, thou art still nameless to eternity. Come thou forth, I say, and aid and guard me in this work of art. Thou, star of the east, that didst conduct the Magi, thou art the same all-present in heaven and in hell. Thou that migratest between the light and the darkness, rising, ascending, changing ever yet ever the same. The sun is thy father, thy mother the moon. The wind hath borne thee in its bosom, and earth hath never nourished the changeless guardian of thy youth. Come thou forth, I say, come thou forth, and make all spirits subject unto thee. So that every spirit of the earth unto thou the ether, upon the earth and under the earth, on dry land and in the water, of roaring air and of a rushing fire, and every spell and scourge of God's vast one may be obedient unto thee.
you know you can work full-time while protecting your SSDI benefits? It's true. Contact Allsup Employment Services, an authorized Social Security Ticket to Work provider. We can help you make the most of the Ticket to Work program.
Just random shit.
The invocation of Horus. Strike the master chord. Draw the flaming sword. Crowned child and conquering lord, Horus, avenger. O thou of the head of the hawk, thee I invoke. Thou only begotten child of Osiris thy father, and Isis thy mother, he that was slain, she that bore thee in her womb, flying from the tip of the water, thee I invoke. O thou whose apron is of flashing white, Father, and made fertile thy mother, thee I invoke. O thou whose garment is of golden glory, with the azure boughs of sky, thee I invoke. Thou who didst avenge the horror of death, thou the slayer of Typhon, thou who didst lift thine arms, and the dragons of death were as dust, thou who didst raise thine head, and the crocodile of Nile was abased before thee, thee I invoke. O thou whose nemesis hideth the universe with night, the impermeable blue, thee I invoke. Thou who travellest in the boat of Ra, abiding at the helm of the Aftet boat, and of the Sextet boat, thee I invoke. Thou who bearest the wand of double power, thee I invoke. Is shed the darkness of blue light, the unfathomable glory, the untravelled, the unthinkable immensity of space. Thou who concentrest all the 30 ethers in one darkening sphere of fire, thee I invoke. O thou who bearest the rose and cross of life and light, thee I invoke. The voice of the 5, the voice of the 6, 11 are the voices. Abracadabra. Strike the master chord. Draw the flaming sword. Crowned child and conquering lord, Horus, avenger.
I completely abandoned ChatGPT. It just keeps failing me time after time after time, and I can't.
Child and conquering lord, Horus, avenger. By thy name of Ra, I invoke thee, hawk of the sun, the glorious one. By thy name, Harmachis, youth of the brilliant morning, I invoke thee. By thy name, Mao, I invoke thee, lion of the midday sun. By thy name, Tum, hawk of the evil, crimson splendor of the sunset, I invoke thee. By thy name, Kefra, I invoke thee, O beetle of the hidden mastery of midnight. By thy name, Ur-Par-Krat, Lord of silence, beautiful child that standest on the dragons of the deep, I invoke thee. By thy name of Apollo, I invoke thee, O man of strength and splendor, O poet, O father. By thy name of Phoebus, that drivest thy chariot through the heaven of Zeus, I invoke thee. By thy name of Odin, I invoke thee, O warrior of the north, O renown of the sagas. By thy name of Yahshua, O child of the flaming star, I invoke thee. By thine own, thy secret name, Uri, thee I invoke. Behold, I stand in the midst. Mine is the symbol of Osiris. To thee are mine eyes ever turned. Unto the splendor of Gabura, the magnificence of Chesed, the mystery of Da'ath, thither I lift up mine eyes. This have I sought, and my insight is keen as the hawk's. By my head I invoke thee. I am the only begotten child of my father and mother. By my body I invoke thee. About me shine the diamonds of radiance, white and pure. By their brightness I invoke thee. Mine is the red triangle reversed, the sign given of none, save it be of thee, O Lord. By the Laman I invoke thee. Mine is the garment of white, sewn with gold, the flashing abai that I wear. By my robe I invoke thee. Mine is the sign of Apophis and Typhon. By the sign I invoke thee. Mine also is the turban of white and gold, and mine the blue vigor of the intimate air. By my crown I invoke thee. My fingers travel on the beads of pearl. So run I after thee in thy car of glory. By my fingers I invoke thee. I bear the word of double power in the voice of the Master. Abrahadabra. By the word I invoke thee. Mine are the dark blue waves of music in the song that I made of old to invoke thee. Strike, strike the master chord. Draw the flaming sword. Crowned child and conquering lord. Horus, avenger. By the song I invoke thee. In my hand is thy sword of revenge. Let it strike at thy bidding. By the sword I invoke thee. The voice of the 5, the voice of the 6, 11 other voices, Abrahadabra. Therefore I say unto thee, come thou forth and dwell in me, so that every spirit, whether of the firmament or of the ether, of the earth or under the earth, on dry land or in the water, of whirling air or of rushing fire, and every spell and scourge of God, the vast one, may be thou. Abracadabra. Take a seated position. Command yourself to relax. Rhythmic breathing. Let us ask for divine guidance at the beginning of each session. O Lord of the universe, the vast and the mighty one, your mind is at peace. You are now able to concentrate your thoughts, your feelings, your awareness. Imagine now that towers above you another being who represents your higher self, your holy guardian angel. this majestic, towering figure standing above you, watching over you with his light and love, protecting you, guiding you. With each breath you take, you aspire and yearn to be one with your angel. With the exhalation, this great being descends into you. You and your guardian angel are becoming one. Inhale, yearn towards your divine angel. Exhale, he descends and occupies your being. Imagine this divine being with wings descending, occupying your body, your mind, your soul. Aspiring towards this noble being, aspiring towards this noble being who is yourself. Exhale. Feel the air going out of your body and your higher self, your angel, descending into you. Inhale, aspire. Exhale, you are one. Your guardian angel is the symbol of your higher self. Imagine and visualize him there, as he always is,